Let's bring in Lindy Lee, co-host of the Her Take podcast, and Danielle Alvarez, Republican National Committee senior advisor. Danielle, so-called rhino senators in Indiana learned the hard way. Do you think that their U.S. senator counterparts should probably heed the same advice or suffer the same fate?
Last night was very clear. The president is the leader of the Republican Party, but it was also a massive victory for Republican voters in the state. Republican voters in the state were upset that Indiana senators voted with Democrats and chose not to redistrict in the state. And it was a resounding vote against them, telling them that they could not side with Democrats. Voters are sick and tired of Republicans sitting on their hands as Democrats continue to redistrict and gerrymander across the country, continue to sue till it's blue, and they are tired of not being represented. Last night's results were the proof. 6 out of 8 seats won. There is one seat that is a 3-vote differential. I mean, it is a massive victory for Republican voters and certainly for President Trump.
Yeah, and you mentioned the nationwide redistricting battle really now centering on the South. President Trump is urging states to act even if primaries have already started, posting on Truth Social, quote, "If they have to vote twice, so be it." So Democrats also all in on redistricting. Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says, quote, "Across the nation, we will sue, we will redraw, and we will win." Lindy, both sides really dug in on this one. Where does this end?
President Trump is going to get the last laugh on this one as well, Charla. He won the redistricting battle. And for once, for the first time in generations, we are no longer hijacked and straitjacketed by the notion that race is everything. Right now, people have to prove that there was racial intent rather than racial effect. And that's going to be extremely hard for Democrats to do. They cannot win without these race-based districts. They cannot win without gerrymandering these states out of control. And so I'm really heartened by the fact that these southern states are going to finally be able to have representation that reflects the will of the people at last, rather than these artificial blue enclaves in the middle of like Alabama. It makes no sense whatsoever.
So while so much of us focus on the midterms, I want to jump ahead and go to 2028. And the vice president already on the stump in Iowa this week and already facing flack. Look at what Politico has to say. Quote, "Vance's fate is unavoidably linked to President Trump's. He'll either carry the mantle of Trump's accomplishments all the way into his own term in the White House or be dragged down by Trump's dismal approval ratings." Danielle, they say that this was one of Kamala Harris's biggest challenges, separating from Joe Biden. I mean, give me a break. Every vice president is tied to the accomplishments or failures of their president. That's why Kamala lives in Malibu right now. What do you think?
Well, first of all, Kamala's biggest problems wasn't just being tied to Joe Biden. Kamala was a really big problem in and of herself. So let's just establish that fact. I reject the idea that we're looking ahead to 2028. This administration and the nation is looking towards November and the midterms. JD is an incredible surrogate for this administration to talk about a middle class, working families, tax cuts, to talk about most favored nation drug pricing, everything that this president and Republicans are doing to make life better for everyday Americans, to put America first. He's out on the stump. He's a great asset, again, to the president, to the administration, and he's going to make sure that Republicans up and down the ballot are successful and that we maintain majorities this November.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.